there, my name is Turk, and today I will be telling you the story of how Teflon was discovered. Not every invention was created on purpose, and in fact, some inventions aren't inventions at all. They're accidental discoveries. And what this means is that during a reaction in a system, something went wrong, something changed, and it gave you a different product than you were expecting. It might have given you something new you've never seen before, and this is what you call an accidental discovery. And Teflon is one of these accidental discoveries, but it was found to have remarkable properties. And here's the story. Teflon, in 1938, chemist Dr. Roy Plunkett in a Newport lab was working with various gases trying to find a safe alternative for the current refrigerants being used. The problem with the current refrigerants being used was that they had toxic properties. The gases inside the refrigerator had toxic properties, and they were causing the food inside of the refrigerators to become poisonous to the people who were eating them. So people in their homes, people in the food industry were becoming sick. And so Newport gave Plunkett the task of finding new and better gases that didn't have the toxic properties and were more efficient than the current gases being used. And one of the gases that he decided that he would try was tetrafluoroethylene, TFE. And what he did with this gas was he put the gas into cylinders, and he kept these cylinders at very, very low temperatures, around the temperature of dry ice, which we all know is very, very low. And what he found was one day when he came back to use the gas inside the cylinders, that it was gone. And this was very strange to him because even though the gas was gone, the overall weight remained the same in the cylinder with no gas, and he found this very, very strange. So he examined it a little further and found a white solid inside of the cylinders. And instead of getting rid of this white solid and starting over, he decided he would analyze, as any good scientist would do, analyze this white powder for different properties. So he looked at the different properties of this, and he found that what happened was the gas became polymerized, and it turned into polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE, which is all you need to know about that. That's not very important. But what he did notice was that the properties of this white solid were remarkably good. He noticed that it was extremely heat resistant, meaning that you could heat it up to a high temperature and it would not affect it. You could heat it up as high as 550 degrees Fahrenheit and it would not melt. It would become malleable, so you could change its shape into different things, which makes it nice because you can use it for a lot of different things. And also, on the other end, it can be cooled down to nearly 350 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it still remains the same. It's not brittle. It's still useful. Another property that he found with it was it was very chemically resistant, meaning that you could try and react it with chemicals, and it wouldn't really have an effect on the overall complex of the Teflon. And the third and final property that he really noticed was that nothing really seemed to stick to the Teflon, meaning that mud, food, all these different, anything that you would think would stick to a metal, it could get caked on. It would roll right off. It's slippery, and is actually considered one of the most slippery materials on Earth to this day. And it wasn't until later that Teflon began to be used for pots and pans, which is the most common use. It's used for cooking because food won't stick to it when you're cooking with it, and you can heat it up to very high degrees. You can heat it up way past you would ever cook it in an oven or on a stove. It's never going to get too hot to the point where where it's no longer useful. And even though Teflon was an accidental discovery, it is still considered a flash of genius and a lucky accident that led to the discovery of extremely useful substance today.